After the so-called Anschluss of Austria to the Third Reich in 1938, the Jewish community was subjected to a systematic exclusion, displacement, and extermination. Austria's art and musical life in particular suffered a terrible loss. For many decades after World War II, Austria did not come to terms with its responsibility during National Socialism 1938 to 1945. In Vienna of the 21st century, the time is right for the reconciliation of exiled composers and their musical output. In 2007, the Schönberg scholar and professor Gerold Gruber founded Exil Arte, a non-profit organization for exiled Austrian composers. He also heads the MAED, the Musical Analysis and Exile Documentation Research Center at the Music University of Vienna. Since then, an experienced research team has been working to finally bring those composers back home.
It was inevitable that with the work I was doing at the Jewish Museum that I would come into contact with Exil Arte. And Exil Arte is an organization that inevitably would have to exist in Austria. Austria is a country which has produced perhaps per capita more composers who were thrown out after 1938 than anywhere else. An organization like Exil Arte is crucial for understanding exactly the losses that were incurred and in understanding also the continuation of a certain uniquely Austrian musical tradition, which I don't think anybody disputes.
Many artists fled the country and never returned home after 1945. But who were they?
Namen zu nennen ist natürlich sehr schwer, weil man dann
Mentioning names is extremely difficult, as one would inevitably leave someone out. But our aim is to show the diverse musical genres and styles amongst exiled composers, ranging from film music from Korngold and Steiner on one hand, to the so-called serious music of Hans Gall, Egon Welles, to jazz compositions, which was a popular choice amongst exiled composers. It even includes light music.
Die auch von den Exilkomponisten sehr gerne gewählt worden sind. Selbst in die Unterhaltungsmusik.
Not many are aware that Benatzky, Kallmann, Juhrmann, Kreisler, Spielmann, all those were composers of operettas and the popular Viennese song genre. The spectrum of compositions of suppressed music is incredibly vast and wide-ranging.
Das heißt, das Spektrum der Kompositionen, die zur verfemten Musik gehören, ist ein unglaublich großes.
Exil Arte is supported by the National Fund and the Zukunftsfonds of the Austrian Republic. It acts as the first contact point on Austrian oppressed and exiled composers. At the same time, the main function of the MAED Research Center is to provide the research background. Academic conferences and symposia, such as the International Film Music Symposium in 2009, as well as concerts and events particularly targeted to a young audience. Austrian immigrants had and still have an enormous impact on film scoring, a fact that is still little known in Austria today. Especially the much-beloved Hollywood sound goes back to the Viennese Max Steiner and Erich Wolfgang Korngold. Bruce Broughton is one of Hollywood's highly regarded movie and TV composers today and chaired the Film Music Symposium in Vienna.
I think that it's easy to consider Max Steiner as being the father of film music because the first really big film score, in the way that we understand film scores, was done by Max Steiner for King Kong. King Kong was very dramatic, very inventive, and very tightly connected to the film. So it had all the elements of what we do in film. And I think Max Steiner is even credited with inventing the click track, I think. You know? So one of these basic things which has become very important in contemporary music all came from Max Steiner.
The Day of the Expellee, Tag der Vertriebenen, is one successful example of open youth work and the educational mandate of Exil Arte. Held on May 5, 2008 at the fully assembled Austrian Parliament, the event included a performance of the youth orchestra Werkskapelle Laufen-Gemünd in Engelhof and with exiled composer Walter Arlen present. It is necessary to make the works of exiled composers available. Therefore, Exil Arte started an online database that shows the vast repertoire of the art that was lost. It will be openly accessible on the Exil Arte website.
Die Datenbank ist besonders von Interesse.
The database is particularly significant to musicians who would like to try out new works. Those who are considering new works not only for their own repertoire, but consider recording them.
And there is ample opportunity to make exciting new discoveries. These are, nevertheless, works that should be part of the repertoire today. At the same time, operas like Arnold Schönberg's Moses and Aaron and Ernst Krenek's Johnny Spielt Auf have found their way on the 20th century opera stage. Due to the persuasive quality of music and sense of drama, as director of the Vienna State Opera, Ian Hollander explains.
Dieses Vergessen kann man nicht wieder gut machen.
This oblivion cannot be undone, as nothing can be undone. The dead are dead, and unperformed composers are also dead, and were never performed after because they were forgotten. Some justifiably so, others not. But even those who were rightly forgotten were never awarded the right of a judgment.
Aufgrund eines Urteils vergessen zu werden.
Komm